अच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदाम् जाड्यान्धकारापहा हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्
Thank you. Good everyone present here. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to welcome you all to the 6-day AICTE approved online ATAL FDP on AI powered healthcare, emerging technologies, and innovations in medtech. At the outset, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our respected management and dignitaries for their continuous encouragement and support, and for giving me this opportunity to host and coordinate this FDP. This program aims to bring together leading experts from academia industry to share their valuable insights on how AI is beneficial for healthcare sector. From intelligent diagnostic and personalized medicine and medical technologies, data-driven initiatives. We extremely privileged to have with us today our chief guest, Mr. Pandey sir from IIT Dharwad. Over the next 6 days, we will have enlightening sessions by distinguished speakers, including Dr. Rajesh De, postdoctoral researcher, IIUM Malaysia, Mr. Mahesh Bhargava, Joint Director, CDAC, Mr. Dr. Manish Godse, CTO, IZ Docs AI Platform, Dr. Mudassir Khan, researcher, King Khalid University, Aba, Saudi Arabia, Dr. Professor Go Kang Wen, Pro Vice Chancellor, Global Engagement, INTI International University, Malaysia, Mr. Amit Kumar Srivastava, Fujitsu Fellow and Global Fujitsu Distinguished Engineer, Dr. Bhushan Garware, AI Consultant at Google, Dr. Pramod Patil, Principal NMIT, Dr. Mukesh Karya, Co-Practice Head, IS Security Scientist, Eastern Solution Private Limited, Dr. Mukesh Kumar Gupta, Scientist, FNIC, New Delhi. We are truly honored to have such eminent personalities with us, and I sincerely thank for them taking their time to share their expertise with all of us. I also extend warm welcome to all participants who have joined from various parts of the country. Your enthusiasm and active participation are what make this program truly meaningful. Before we proceed, I would like to inform all participants about the eligibility criteria for receiving the ATAL's FDP certificate. Minimum 80% attendance throughout the FDP is required. Minimum 60% score for the final assessment that we will take in 11th October. Feedback submission on ATAL portal after each session and at the end of the program it is mandatory. So please ensure that you meet these requirements to qualify for the FDP certificate. I encourage everyone to engage fully in these sessions, interact with the speaker, and make the most of this enriching learning experience. Once again, I thank you all for for joining us. Wishing everyone an inspiring and knowledge-filled 6 days ahead. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for briefing us about the FDP and setting the tone for this wonderful week of learning. We are fortunate to have with us our respected leaders who have always motivated and supported us in our all academic initiatives. First, I would like to invite our head of department, Dr. Dhanraj Dhotre sir, to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir, you are audible.
hello, I'm audible, ma'am. Very good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. Uh, Today we have Rahul Pandya sir with us from IIT Dharwad as a
Thank
keynote
you.
for this program. Definitely, this FDP is going to be a feast for all the participants and researchers for this really researchers gathering, I would rather say. And we know there are many things, many research, many innovations and discoveries are happening in the healthcare sector. And this is how do we have planned this medtech FDP for the researchers in pan India. And all researchers are there as a chief guest or say speakers. They will be sharing their views and their experiences with all the participants or the researchers so that they can continue their research innovation, and even they can have good publications, or they can do this same thing in their career as a maybe a data scientist, maybe a AML engineer. And we know there are many things. For example, if you consider in medtech, digital twin nowadays is very attractive field, and the healthcare where we can find out the MRI related things are going on, image processing playing vital role in image processing, in AI, then cancer detection, digital twin is there, drug analysis is there, like vaccine prediction and analytics also at the peak. And COVID vaccine is prepared and tested very fast. So there are n number of opportunities available for the people, but we know it requires the patients to understand the things and how to use wisely the AI tools for the research work. So I'll be very happy if the case studies are being discussed in these sessions throughout all these 5 days, and all the experts are there from the various fields in medtech as well as the AI or Gen AI field. So definitely I urge all the participants to take the active participation, be consistent, do ask the questions, be interactive throughout the sessions, depending upon your research area and queries. So definitely this is going to be a really researchers gathering, and I really congratulate Vanita madam and then Pranjali madam to organize such a nice FDP on the cutting edge technology. So all the best to all the participants and the coordinators as well. So this is from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your motivating words and continuous encouragement. Now, it's my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. as a distinguished academic and researcher in the field of AI, ML, deep learning, and wireless communication. He is currently serving as an assistant professor at IIT Dharwad with a PhD in optical network design from IIT Delhi. He has also contributed as a faculty member at NIT Warangal and worked in the industry with Infinera Private Limited, where he specialized in optical network design. The academic journey is marked by excellence, spanning electronics and communications engineering, MTech in optical networks and communication, a PhD diploma in business administration. Alongside his academic and research contributions, Dr. Pandya has been deeply engaged in simulations, MATLAB, and network design. We are truly honored to have him with us today. I now request Rahul Pandya, sir, to deliver the keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for the introduction and for inviting me on this ATAL FTP. I congratulate entire team for getting the grant for this ATAL FDP because which is one of the prestigious program of India, and scheduling it is really a great event. Now, I generally start my talk by the introduction and importance of the research and development. If we look at this Indian scenario with reference to the research and development, the other countries, the Western countries, or even China, Russia, they are far ahead of us. And the major reason behind that is India is a consumption-oriented country, whereas these countries, they have focused much more towards the research and development. We are doing good at the natural resources because our country is rich at the natural resources. However, we lack in the technological development, specifically the research that we lack. And we do not produce much. In the consequence of that, we import the goods from the other countries, and then our national wealth goes outside of that country, and then we become subjected to the other sanctions which other countries put on us, right? So for the growth of any nation, research and development is the core part of this country, right? If we do not produce, we cannot be self-sustained. We cannot fulfill our own needs. Once we satisfy our own needs, then we can think about exporting. So product first approach is extremely important. And new products, they could be software products or services. They could be hardware products. Any product comes from research and development. In the field of this AI with reference to this medical healthcare, there are a lot of products that we can develop and export after fulfilling our own needs. So unless and until we start contributing in the direction of research and development, our national, we may not be able to compete with them. And then two, what is our contribution is in our best of capacity. Whatever we can contribute, we can adopt an innovative approach to think something new, to bring something in picture, to develop something, and it's kind of a product first approach. Whatever we do, we try to put our contribution in developing something. With that, with reference to this AI, artificial intelligence in medical healthcare, there are several applications. There are many advanced devices, medical devices, and instruments. They are automated using this artificial intelligence and other plugins. There are many software services they have been provided for medical and healthcare, right? So there are a lot of even the IoT networks or devices which have been operated for these applications. They can be integrated with artificial intelligence and entire thing can be optimized further. Our couple of students, they have been working in the particular field, and if you want me to walk you through in one of the particular application, I can share my screen and we can have a little bit of research flavor how we apply artificial intelligence in the particular field of medical and healthcare. Let me know if you want me to share the screen and I can proceed forward. Let me know if my screen is visible. Is my screen visible? If not, I'll reshare.
Yes, sir, screen is visible.
Okay. Just a moment. I think this is gone. Stop sharing. Okay, now I think it should be visible in a while. Okay, fine. So I'll just walk you through in last 1 year, some of my student has worked and we worked together on one of the application, which is nothing but deep learning enabled segmentation, classification, and risk assessment of cervical cancer. How many minutes do I have, madam? So accordingly, I can restrict my content. 3:25. How many minutes do I have, madam? So accordingly, I can speak and we can wrap. Okay, fine. So deep learning enables segmentation, classification, and risk assessment for cervical cancer. So this technique which we developed is specifically for identifying the cervical cancer, right? And we do the segmentation, classification, and risk assessment, which we employ for the cervical cancer. So some of the hospitals nearby, they requested us to provide some sort of artificial intelligence based tool to assess and identify the risk and predict the cancer, cervical cancer specifically, right? So we worked with those doctors in that specific hospital and then we developed one solution. Cervical cancer is generally it is found in the cervix and which is sometimes very difficult or common cases with women, right? And they are affected by HPV virus and they struggle a lot because of the late detection of it, right? So these hospitals, they reached us out and then we collaborated and we said that, okay, we can develop one deep learning based AI tool, which we can quickly test on the samples and then we can identify what is the stage of that cancer. Is it malignant or there is no cancer, or how risky it is, or it is at the age of conversion and then something. So what we do is those doctors, they have the data sets available, right? So they collect the samples from the target segment, right, cervix, and they get these samples and they put them for the images, right? They collect the images of those samples. Now, first of all, what we do in this problem is that what we do is we conduct the pap smear test. Generally, the doctor's team and the hospital, they'll conduct this. Pathology lab, I mean the laboratory people, they'll do it. Once that is done, they send us the whole data set and we apply the artificial intelligence or deep learning or machine learning or generative AI based tools for assessing the risk, classifying the cell, and predicting what is the level of the cancer and what would be the future impact, correct? So that is the problem statement. The entire workflow I'll quickly walk you through. We get the input image from the samples which we have collected. We provide it to the segmentation model. And then after segmentation, we focus on those cells which are in target for a study. And then what we do is we do the cell region boundary, the cell region mapping from those binary masks and extract the cell patches, right? So these are specific cells, or we can say the cell patchings. And then that part is called the segmentation. Because when we have a sample, there are too many cells. We don't want to analyze everything. We want to analyze only few selective target cell. So that's why we do the segmentation and just do that specific segment for a study. Once we have this entire process is called segmentation. Once we have this, we put it in a classification row and then feed it to the classification model. This classification model, it provides the different classes of this cell. I mean, we'll see in more detail. And then finally, we do the risk assessment also, that what is the risk at this particular stage. Likelihood of a normal cell that is getting converted into the malignant cell. That means whether it's going to be cancerous very soon, right? So this is how we conduct the entire workflow. And what we have identified is we took around 4,049 images, and which we got from pap smear, and there is one CPAC-MAD dataset is also available online. Let's say some of the researchers, they don't have the exposure from the dataset collected from the hospital. In that specific case, they can download this particular dataset, which has around 4,049 images, and they can conduct this particular study. Now, these are the different types of cancer cells, right? Parabasal, then there are different types of them. So this first two are the normal cells, second two are the abnormal, and then the third one is the benign, right? And then based on this WSI, which is nothing but the whole slide image, so these are the cropped cells what we have gathered. These are the types of those cells which we have just seen on the previous slide. Here you can see that this is one first type, and this is second type, third type, this is a parabasal, and then so on. From this, we cropped this. From this particular one, we cropped this one. And so on. From this last one, we cropped this one. Because deep learning algorithm or these tools, if we give a specific input in a cropped manner, it can efficiently process it without increasing the time complexity. And it gives the optimal output. Now, if you look at this, the data set, what we had, it has this particular distribution. You can see these are out of these 4,000 images, we could take around 963 images, and which are classified further into this NIM, SSC, LSIL, or HSIL, right? So these are different types of them further. And then these are the images which we have segregated. See, this entire set of images can come from the hospital, and we can put this artificial intelligence based tool integrated on those images data set, and then as an output, it helps the doctors or the practitioners to tell that what is the cell type right now. Is it going to be soon converted in the cancer? Is it already cancerous, or it's normal, right? So test becomes hassle-free. To process the data, we consider WSI images of the CPAC-MAD as well as we receive the images from the hospital. So those we can take. And then for a task of segmentation, we applied the deep learning models such as, let's say, UNet, LinkNet, FPN, PSPNet, right? And then we tried to measure the IOU score. IOU, that means intersection of union, because that's very important. So now for an example, you can see we got this whole slide image, WSI, whole slide image. We take the sample from the cervix and then put it on a slide. Slide means not a PowerPoint presentation or those slides. The slides means this medical sample which we take. Remember that blood test, we used to give the blood and they put it on a slide and then they look into the microscope, that kind. So after that, what we do is the masking. So you can see this particular cropped image has this mask. This particular cropped image has this mask. This is essential for segmentation because we want to study the specific part of the cell, not the whole image, because it's difficult to process, right? And what we did is during the segmentation, we applied UNet We know that the standard structure of unit that it downsamples, then it has the upsamples and then concatenation. Then we use the PSPNet, LinkNet, and FPNet. These are the standard architectures which are very suitable for this. And then the observation was, I mean, we can develop one lightweight model also for this application. That is also possible. And the observation is, apart from all of this, LinkNet was really doing good with reference to the intersection over union score, IOU score. And you can see it is around 0.97 of IOU score during training, and testing 0.81 of IOU score, which is really good, and which is beating all other categories, Now, initial strategies for the cell classification, generally we apply the cell, we used to apply the histogram-based pixel distribution for each class across the grayscale and RBG images, and then we try to observe that whether it overlaps, I mean, in the distribution and classes are they indistinguishable. And then what we do is, the second strategy is we compute the skewness and curtices of each class, and then we try to observe the output. Or the third strategy was we apply the statistical features such as, let's say, nucleus area or cytoplasm area, and then find out the ratio of this, right? And then we apply the KNN, SVM, and naive biased or random forest. But the problem with this is accuracy was 60-70% only. Whereas this is a sensitive application, we cannot bear with smaller percentage, because let's say if a person has a cancer cell and if it goes undetected and if we do not cure it in time, that may result in a severe disease later. So that's why we cannot apply, or we cannot continue with this strategy. So that's why we thought of applying something better, and we try to apply it, and we applied this mobile net v3 dense net 121 resnet. And then what we did is we developed this MRF DCN, which is really good. MRF DCN, which is really good, and we applied that one also. Right? And then we try to measure this one. So this is the architecture of our work which we have developed for predicting the cancer cells, risk assessment, and classification. What we do is we give the image of the sample after processing, and then we give those images and put them across these wings, and then we move forward, right? And we apply the convolution, max pooling, and then we flatten it, and at the output, I get the final output, right? So this is the structure of MRF DCN architecture. And then finally, what we have done is we compared this proposed architecture along with the others one. Now, the parameters which it was trained on is 1.7 million parameter, which is very less compared to MobileNet v3, DenseNet, ResNet, various version of ResNets, AlexNet, VGG. If you look at this, VGG was trained on 144 million parameters. Whereas MRF DCN is trained on 1.7 million parameters, which is very less, and comparatively the accuracy is 91%. Now this is still lesser, but still better than the statistical one, and we are further working on that to improve this accuracy to 98%, right? MRF DCN has produced nicely. Still there is a scope of 9%. If someone wants to take this challenge and produce something better, then we can do that, but we could accomplish 91%, which is still far better than this 70-80% of accuracy, right? So it gives the confidence to the medicine practitioners, right? And then definitely other people can certainly participate in this event, and they can do that. These are some of the performance metrics which we use. You can see that the confusion matrix, most of the predictions are correctly done. Accuracy is also really good, about 90%, and loss gets settled down very quickly. So that work was done. And this is your ROC. This is our ROC. You can see that it converges very quickly after a certain point of time. And finally, later what we have done is we applied this multitask learning. Multitask learning is nothing but the paradigm where Model is trained to perform the multiple tasks simultaneously. Model is trained to perform the multiple tasks simultaneously. And the advantage is it promotes the shared learning across the related task, and it improves the generalization by leveraging the domain specific information. And the use case, what we have today is, in our case, we used for segmentation and classification simultaneously, right? So what we do is we look at the nucleus as well as cytoplasm, and we try to segment them, and then we apply that further MRF DCN, and then what we do is we try to identify whether it's benign or, I mean, it's normal or it is impacted by the cancer. It is impacted by the cancer, right? Why we use MLT over instant segmentation? Instant segmentation is nothing but it's a deep learning based computer vision technique that predicts the exact pixel boundaries of each individual at the instance in, I mean, what at the individual object instance in an image, right? And why we use that? Because we need both segmentation as well as classification. Segmentation means we want to extract the cell and classify whether it is impacted by the cancer or not, to identify the cell type, right? And the advantages of MTL is it's efficient. One model handles both segmentation and classification, so the delay goes down, the time complexity goes down, and it is lightweight. It is lightweight because it requires fewer parameters. It requires fewer parameters, right? So that's why we use, and gives it better performance compared to the SOTA. SOTA means state of the art. SOTA means state of the art models. So better, it performs better than the existing one. Now, it introduces, I mean, what we have done is we introduce here a squeezed bottleneck layer that splits two branches into the segmentation decoder, which predicts the binary mask, and classification head, which predicts the high level class, right? And the architecture in encoder, we have convolution batch normalized ReLU plus max pooling. And bottleneck, we have shared compressed representation. Decoder, we have skip connections and upsampling. And in classifier, we have global average pooling and dense layer. So that's the architecture of my multitask unit with squeezed bottleneck layer. That is my architecture with squeezed bottleneck layer. You can see the each layer can be identified. This pink represents the convolution, then black arrow 3x3 convolution with ReLU, and then it proceed further. This is copy and concat, that is kind of a skip connection which we provide to maintain the resolution. And then this is my classification head, which has a dense layer, and actually it predicts and classify which type of cell it is. The loss function, we use the binary cross entropy based loss function for segmentation. And for classification, we use the categorical cross entropy function. And the total loss was the weighted combination of binary cross entropy as well as categorical cross entropy. So this is a binary cross entropies weighted function parameter, and this is our categorical cross entropies weighted parameter. And on an average, we have seen that the IOC around 83% and accuracy is of around 90%. Still, there is a scope of 10%. Someone can definitely look for the improvement. Someone can definitely look for the improvement in the risk assessment. CPEC dataset, what we use, and the goal was to accomplish 95% of the accuracy, but we couldn't. We could accomplish around 95%, 91%. Still, there is a scope of 4%. We are still working on that to improve further and bring it to 95%. And then it identifies the risk. What is the risk at a current state? That gives the confidence, right? So we give the train model, extract the feature vectors from the cells, and provide the probabilistic approach for risk assessment. And then finally say what is the probability of that cell is getting converted into the malignant cell. So let's say someone is coming in an intermediate stage or very early in the beginning stage of the cancer, or it's, I mean, not cancerous, but we try to identify the risk and see that there is a chance or the probability that in future this patient may develop a cancer. This patient may develop a cancer, and then we tested that. And there are several existing algorithms also. We SOTA algorithms, state-of-the-art algorithms for machine learning, such as, let's say, logistic regression, k-nearest neighbor, naive based, support vector machine, SVM, RBF, that is radial basis for this, and then random forest and decision tree. We applied them and we observed them also. For what we saw that the existing model, they are doing good for this risk assessment because it's not so heavy application. Risk assessment is not so heavy application. Mostly the segmentation part is heavy, and then the RA part is not that much heavy. So we can employ any of this lightweight model. Let's say logistic regression. We don't have to employ a huge model. So we can say that logistic regression or KNN gives a better risk assessment. We can use them. We could employ the probabilistic method also, where we use the mean and covariance, and based on that we try to find out the probability density function for a multivariate Gaussian distribution, and we try to identify. We could apply the Bayes theorem also, identify the posterior probability, which is probability of P Ci given X. That's my posterior probability, using the prior probability, which is nothing but PCI here, and there's another combination, the conditional probability Px given Ci, and then we can carry this entire prediction. In the interest of time, I'll keep it short. And we use the cosine similarity also. Generally, cosine similarity is used to check the similarity of the sample to the classes, that whether this cell is, generally cosine distance was found effective to measure the similarity and to identify the risk. How is the risk, whether it's going towards the conversion into the cancer cell or what. And then finally, if I conclude, we used or we worked on the deep learning based application for cancer, cervical cancer detection. The cancer is specifically focused on the cervical cancer. We collect the cells from the cervix in a cervix, or you can use the online data sets also. We perform segmentation, classification, and risk assessment. We introduced a novel architecture, MRF-DCN, which is a lightweight CNN architecture, accomplishing the accuracy of around 91.28%, and the parameters, which are around only 1.7 millions, whereas in VGG 19, the parameters which were used for training is 144 millions, which means we used 45% or 45 times lesser. So it is divided by 85 times lesser than VGG, divided by, right, 85 times lesser than VGG. Very lightweight model. We also used or developed a multitask UNet, which accomplished accuracy around 90%. Still, there is a scope. 10% of scope here, as well as 9% of scope here. Or we can say 8.8% of scope here. People can work on it. And we proposed the risk assessment method also on hospitalized data set, as well as we also tested on CPAC-MED and LBC data sets. That's all I have for a day. Since the time is limited, I have to keep it short and get back to the coordinator, madam or sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity for presenting. Get back to you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rahul sir, for your inspiring keynote and for sharing such valuable insights with us. Now, to conclude today's inaugural session, I would like to invite the coordinator of the FDP session, Mrs. Pranjali Bahalkar ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on the behalf of Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune, at the conclusion of the inaugural session of the AICTE online FDP Faculty Development Program on AI-powered healthcare, emerging technologies and innovations in medtech. We are deeply honored by the presence of our chief guest and keynote speaker, Dr. Rahul Pandya, sir,
Thank you
for
very much.
sharing valuable insight and inspiring us with the enlightening address. Your words have truly set a truthful tone for this FDP. To Honorable Dr. Somnath Patil, sir, respected Vice Chancellor Dr. D.Y. Patil, Dan Prasad University, Dr. Dheeraj Agrawal, sir, and respected Principal Dr. Nitin Serje, sir, and our HOD Dr. Dhaniraj Dhotre, sir, their constant guidance and encouragement and support in making this visit possible. We extend sincere thanks to the AICTE teaching, Training and Learning ATAL Academy for the providing this excellent platform for the faculty development and research enrichment. A special appreciation to all our resource persons, organizing team members and participants for their active cooperation and enthusiasm in making their inaugural session well successful. Once again, thank you everyone for your presence and the contribution to the FDP. We look forward to a productive and insightful week ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for expressing the gratitude on behalf of the organizing team and for your kind words. With that, we formally conclude the inaugural session of this ATAL FDP. With that, we now move ahead to begin the first technical session of this online ATAL faculty development program. We now request all the participants to kindly take a short 2 minutes break and rejoin the same meeting link for the first session. The session will begin shortly. Thank you and please stay connected as we continue this exciting journey of learning and discovery.
All participants, please do not leave the meeting. Only 2 minutes break.
Good afternoon, Rajesh sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. We'll start within 1 minute, sir.
Okay, no
We
issue.
have given. Yes.
No issue. No issue. Take your time.
अरे यार तीसरी पीपीटी का शॉन है. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to introduce the speaker for our first technical session, Dr. Rajesh De. Dr. De is a distinguished academician and innovator, currently a postdoctoral fellow at International Islamic University, Malaysia, and associate professor and director of international collaboration at Gopal Narayana Singh University, Bihar. With over 17 years of academic and industry experience, he is a global expert in AI/ML application, signal processing, robotics, IoT, and healthcare technologies. He has led internationally funded projects, mentored innovators worldwide, and contributed extensively as an editor for reputed publishers. A fellow of the Institution of Engineers, India, and a recipient of the prestigious awards, including the AICTE Embedded System Specialist Award. Dr. Day brings a wealth of knowledge in AI-driven innovations. We are honored to have with us today. He will be sharing his insights on AI emerging technologies in healthcare. Please join warmly welcome Dr. Rajesh Day. Thank you, sir. I welcome Dr. Rajesh Day, sir.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me. And now today's health domain is that AI powered healthcare, emerging technologies and innovation in medtech and wearable devices and IOMT. This is the total FDP. That FDP is a in these era is a important topics. That why it is important. That I ma'am introduced me as a academician, but I am not in the only academician. I have two startup also. One of my startup is incubated at IIT Mandi, and in collaboration with the IIT Mandi, that is the Gene Health Hub, where I am actually working with that medical technology or wearable devices is the one of the part of that that I will share how we're doing. So my presentation is how going some case studies and how we'll go for as smart watches to EEG and how the we can assess these, and this is in practically applicable that I can share in my short presentations. Okay, so am I audible? Hello, ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay, okay. So, my topic is the transforming healthcare through wearable devices and IOMT. We all aware of the IoT, all of that, that Internet of Things. Here, the IOMT is the Internet of Medical Things. That is that. What is this IOMT? IOMT is that all the medical devices and that connected through internet, that is the that is a short term. So why it is used, it has a lots of important nowadays. Suppose we have smartwatch we are using, and that smart watch is a lots of optical sensor, lots of electrode is there, even ECG is measuring through Apple devices, and that is the low, that is the layer from these physical layer to it is connected to any middle layer through connectivity of internet. We can go for the hospital, cardiologist. Suppose I have a arrhythmia and something, then immediately it is the lifesaver. So nowadays it is a too much important. before presenting these, I mentioning that I have one startup in Gen Health Hub that is in the incubation phase now. Actually, we have prototype is delivered. Suppose in a old age home there are also in not only old age home in some of metro cities there are some senior people age group of 70 80s, the son maybe the in abroad or something, they are alone, nobody are taking care of them. Even if they fallen, how it will be detected? If any devices that will be connected with them, and even they have to take the medicine at time. Suppose that BP medicine we have at the some ages that we lost our memory or something. Even I also at the middle age now, I also forgot to take my BP medicine. So sometimes they also, so this is the through through one speaker is the wearable devices, and that is that your medicine time now or alarm is set. And even in my any case of my heartbeat, any always electrode are checking that any there is a fluctuation in my pulse or heart rate or something, is there any indications of arrhythmia, then it will be directly to my near and dear and so on. So not only to the cardiologist, they are sharing the data. So I am just a short presentation, but I am covering the area which total area, that area the importance nowadays. Why this is? Thank you, AICT and the DY Patil to organize such a good topics FDP. And I have ma'am already mentioning that I have two projects. Healthcare domain projects, two healthcare domain. I have a Indian currency 15 lakhs in that already paid, that some anybody or something working on these area of healthcare domain may connect me, and through Banita ma'am is there, my number is there, or anybody can connect is. Now again came back to my area of presentation, that is the introduction of IOMT, that these are the agenda I am actually focusing, that is technical foundations, applications in healthcare, and these are the area I will cover in my and why for presenting that these FDPI, that we are all in my son or anybody, even now today they all are the 80 to 90% watches as smart watches, and they are taking data regularly. Suppose I have the 10,000 steps walking, and that is essential. Somebody talks that I have today 5,000 steps, and why not that 10,000 steps, how it is. And it is at the totally sensor. So go for the, we all know that is sensor and transducer, that converted that any forms of energy to motion sensor is there, that are gyroscope is there, lots of sensor is there, and that sensor is converted to electrical signal, and that electrical signal is in millivolt or is a microvolt, so need to be amplified and go for the basics one, and need to be amplified, so go for the amplifications, then digital converted, and then we can go for different algorithm through microcontroller and processing, and through application of machine learning or something, and we can go for, then the third one part is the display or something. And another is that we need to need to transmit the data where to the remote location through some devices like Zigbee and something. So that is the, even the, again one case of application is there, that is the body centric antenna. We know the antenna is a transducer that convert electrical signal to electromagnetic signal, and that will be transmitted through this. So now is the body centric antenna, And that body centric antenna, we also, that how is the differences that we electromagnetic effect is there or something, so that is also we are taking care. So that is a huge scope of research. Not only the application nowadays, it is a in healthcare professional, all the healthcare professional nowadays know about the IOMT. That is that that opportunities is IMT is covered, and that comprehensive not only learning this state of wearable and IMT, but understanding this application in research, teaching, current deployment of digital health, and by the clarity of segmenting the content and the presentations, we logically different the conceptual foundations to practical. So when we can go for simulating and doing some research and doing some validation through my Z score, F1 score, that is one type of research. And when research is converted to applications, that is the criteria. So we should go for some hardware based research, and so we should go for in now a huge scope of wearable health database work, and we should focus on this. And I already, when I focusing that Apple that we can go for that Apple AFIB detection, the watch ECG sensor is there. How ECG sensor is there? There will be different optical sensor that will be will incorporated with some electrode, and that electrode will regularly measuring the heart rate rhythms, and if there is any irregular heart rate or something, then immediately it will share the message to the healthcare specialist that there is chances of arrhythmia, and that for that cases that there is a bridging these type of health to the healthcare professionals. So our healthcare data to healthcare professional, and for the emergency you can save the life. So not only used for the smartwatch, it is not a luxury, it is now it is essential, and it is the first and foremost case of wearable devices. Now I already told about that body centric antenna, that your data need to be transmitted, and it is not going to the wire transmissions, that my body is not connected to the wire, and that wire data will be connected to the healthcare professional. So you need a body centric antenna. So I already worked some international people, that is we are group, and we have designing some uh, antenna, and that antenna when I go for focusing these, I can show you the paper, and you can also see the paper, that in these paper through simulations, and not only simulation, after validation we fabricated the antenna, and that is used in that our native country in Bangladesh by one of the scientists, Professor Moniruzzaman Khan, that he is working, and I that with these group, that data related work and the simulation part from my side I have done, but they have fabricated and they were using that in their own medical unit, and that they are using it in the practical base, that they are using that wearable devices and to transmit data to the healthcare unit. Now, what is IOMT? I already at the starting that IOMT, the Internet of Medical Things. That what is IOMT? IOMT, if I go for the definition, technical definition, the Internet of Medical Things is the network of Internet connected medical devices, hardware infrastructure, and software application used to connect healthcare information technologies. These IOMT devices collect health data and often transmit it real time for analysis. The goal of enable proactive healthcare. For example, continuous glucose monitor, not only that heart rate, continuous sending data to the smartphone. So a diabetic patient and their doctor, they respond immediately if the out of range reading is there. Is a smart inhaler chart that logs uses and remind patient to take medication That is my startup also. And IoMT is extend beyond wearable on the body. It encompasses the health devices like smart glucose blood pressures, cuff, and other devices in hospital connected through equipment. Even it has a long history. Suppose that Holter monitoring started in the 1960, and not only that, IOMT is nowadays that focusing. Nowadays it is in the market. We are research started in 1960, so that is the almost 80 years or more we are started this. And a key point is IOMT device, that the form of ecosystem. The data flows from the patient to the cloud database, and that onward to the healthcare provider. So nowadays that electronic health record, analytic systems, these are the part of the system is already incorporated with this. What is the IOMT ecosystem? That is that IOMT ecosystem showing the various component interact with the each other. That is the various layer. Suppose physical layer, then the middle layer will be the some that is the some important diagram that where we go for. These are the some devices, that devices with the with included with the different type of the key of these key of these successful of IOMT ecosystem depends on the sensor. These these that smartwatch or something, that's the bundle of sensor with there. Of I already mentioned the 2 or 3 sensors, but there are lots of sensors. That sensor actually sensing the data from my in body. And even nowadays, if you go for the ECG or something, that there is a band in the head. And my recent one Q1 research paper is there, and that is the taking the data physically by electrode. That is the procedure now changing every day the improvement of application of different sensor. And that data is analysis through, and the advancement of machine learning and deep learning, and these are the cases of computing. And we can doing the lots of and the different the module of communications and body centric antenna research. We are doing this, and this is the gateways. And from connectivity layer, this is the internet is must required, and internet and cloud as a essential part. And that we're going to the applications and decision making. That is the total ecosystem of a smartphone, or the dedicated hub via short range communication like Bluetooth may be used, and the gateway of the not only Bluetooth, Zigbee. And that is the time to the use of the requirement. We use the different communication module and different cloud platform healthcare server. In the cloud, data is to be stored and aggregated, and other data is the analyzed and through different AI algorithm. That part is the done. And the healthcare providers access the informations through dashboard and electronic health record EHR system, closing the reviewing data and providing the feedback and interventions. This ecosystem also involves patients who wear the devices and receives alerts, IT infrastructure, databases, cloud computing resources, and third-party analytics and telemedicine service. That is also incorporated with the or depend on the IOMT. And diagram, that is that device, then mobile app, then cloud data. This is the layman definition of this IOMT: device, then mobile app, then cloud database, then clinic or the hospital based IT system. With the security layer and protecting each interface, it might also highlight connectivity to other system for sharing data to the pharmacist or caregiver if authorized. And one company I know, that Mighty, and they are working on the caregiver system. And they the 16 branches in all over India they have, and they also is doing this is caregiver through IAMT devices. Similarly, IMT deliver value. And for instance, the imagine a wearable heart monitor of the cardiac patient. It collects the continuous ECG data and transmit the patient's phone, and they upload not only patient's phone, the relatives also, and alert sent to the patient's cardiologist or the monitoring center, and their life will be saved by this system. It is not the fashion, it is the requirement. What is the history of wearable system? That it started in the early 1970s or something. The first wearable health devices emerged, notably the heart rate monitor for athletic training and medical uses by the Polar Electro introduced the wireless heart rate monitor for the athletics in the 1977. And in medicine, the cardiac Holter monitor started in 1960, and in 2000 actually IOMT flourished there due to the advancement of cloud, and also in that applications of different power system also required, also the advancement of VLSI. These devices need to be miniature form. So that is the cases that in the early of these 2000 we are started. During this decade, sensor technology become cheap and small enough that the consumer pedometers and calorie counters evolved into the devices like that. It is easy to the general people. We can also in the early 19 make the smartwatch, but it is not that Indian people can take it. When the cheaper of smart sensors or something, that is that cheapest, that then we can use it. Smartwatch become the mainstream with the product like the Apple Watch, Android Wear devices, and the suite of different health sensor, heart rate sensor, motion sensor, ECG sensor, even blood oxygen. During the COVID time, we already that is applied. Even what are the applications of IOMT? Someone that contaminated disease is there, we may use the IOMT device to getting the data always the on monitoring this patient. So that is also that during the COVID time, it is not only the this ecosystem is very much required, not the fashion or not the secondary part. It's the primary part of the our healthcare system. There are different types of wearable devices. That is the smartwatch and fitness band. That is a one type of basically first and foremost सबसे ज़्यादा use होता है, that uses smartwatch and fitness band. Then the ECG patches. Nowadays that ECG system is changing, and ECG patches is there. There are small adhesive patch that placed on the chest on the monitor, and heart electrical activity continuously, often by day or weeks. For example, Geo patch, a clinical grade patch that record the heart rhythm for up to 14 days and detect arrhythmia. The arrhythmia is detected by these. So now the costing Holter monitoring is not required. Through a patch we can do it, and unlike smart touches, the ECG patch is single purpose and medical grade and typically prescribed for the cardiac patient nowadays. And it is the in on tips and wireless storing the transmitting data and doctor to analyze. So these are the already in daily aims. It is in ECG patches they are using, and nowadays it is a essential. Third is the smart textiles. That is the wearable technologies integrated into clothing or fabric. That smart garments have built-in sensor. For instance, a shirt or conducting fibers or record ECG or respiration shocks within pressure sensor, and that is another part of third part. That is the now in a coming decade there will be the smart textile will be the making a shirt with the ECG sensor and something, and that will be used for the patients and patients or the old age people. That is the now it is a separate unseparatable, and which is the great for the long term monitoring. And for example, smart shirt with the exoskin makes their heart rate and the breathing during the daily activities and the athletic training. and already it uses is started in the European country. And smart contact lenses. Contact lenses we all know, but now the smart contact lenses, high-tech contact lenses under the development that can measure the health indicator from the eye. A well-known research is the Google project, and the Google we know that glucose sensing contact lenses. That means that while the specific project stalled with instance and lenses is the intrascolar pressures and for the glaucoma patient, and already it is limited use, and smart contact aims to provide continuous monitoring of the non-invasive way. These are the some important IOMT devices nowadays in the market. Now the sensor in the healthcare devices. We already told that due to the application of different sensor, IOMT successful and low cost. That's why that lots of IOMT devices nowadays uses. That we know that even if I guessing and forecasting that we already know that number of PC IoT devices is more than that IO, and this is a subset of IoT IOMT. So even in this subset will be in this coming decade will be the number of IOMT devices will be the major part of the IoT. And so that is the different type of sensors. Suppose motion sensors, that is already we know that in it incorporated with the smart watches, that we always that 50 step, 5,000 steps, 10,000 steps, that is measured through the motion sensor. Different accelerometer, gyroscope is there, and because that somebody falls in the bathroom or something in old age people, and immediately get the message to the his near and dear or the caregiver that this person required the emergency help. So that is the motion sensor is the first part that is incorporated with the IOMT devices. That I told, that is the sensor. And next part is the PPG. PPG is the photoplethysmography for heart rate, and SpIO2 already we know that about for oxygen monitoring. PPG is the optical sensor technology. A PPG sensor, usually a infrared LED and photodiode, shines light into the skins and measure the light absorption with the vary of the blood volume pulses. This allows the circulation of heart rate by detecting each pulse by using red and infrared, and the wearables can also estimate the blood oxygen saturations at the during the COVID type period, that already term SPOT, everybody know that similar to the fingertip pulse oximeter, that many fitness band have that a PPG sensor that underline that continuously measures the heart rate and also can do the demand, that is our oxygen level, it is in 99% or it is decaying to 80%, 60%, then go for sending indicator to the caregiver. And ECG electrode, that is also and part that is in the Apple watches already incorporated with this, and these ECG electrode sensor measure the electrical signal from the heart. Wearable achieves the built-in electrode can contact the skin, and for instance the Apple watch has an electrode at the back on the crown, and but by touching the crown, the opposite hand, that body closes the circuit, and the single lead ECG connecting the tracing the can be recorded. ECG sensor provide more clinical detail and enabling detection of arrhythmia like arterial fibrillations and pure optical pulses. Data might miss. The ECG patches and some advances watches are used in the medical grade data, and that can be analyzed and even shared to the caregiver and the healthcare professional. bioimpedance sensor. Bioimpedance sensor is another type of sensor. Bioimpedance involves sending a tiny electrical circuit through the body and measuring resistance and response. Different tissues and psychological changes after impedance and alter impedance and wearable use the bioimpedance for various measurement. For example, smart scale and smart fitness trackers measure the body composition, fat versus muscle percentage, and bioimpedance in a wearable context. Bioimpedance can also track the respiration rate, hydration levels. Some wearable patches measure the thoracic impedance of the to monitor fluid accumulation in heart failure patient. It's a versatile sensor type that's used in the bioimpedance sensor and the ICU and ICU, the critical care patient. We must use this is now it is use the bioimpedance sensor and continuous glucose sensor. I already told about that continuous glucose sensor that measuring 7 to 40 days for the diabetic patient and how that body's glucose level is changing, and that is a continuous data, and that continuous data is help them to find actual medicine or that what type of precaution should take, and that is nowadays essential. Connectivity technology is another important part. Not only sensor data is in electrical signal, that is in millivolt or microvolt, that is through amplifier, it will be in volt range, that is converted through signal conditioner, and that signal conditioner data need to be processed by some controller, by some different type of computing based AI based algorithms, this data to be processed, and that part is after that need to be communication. The digital communication part is very essential, and for the communication that is wireless, and that for this wireless the body centric antenna is a part. Antenna we already know that every communication student, every engineers know about heard about the antenna. Antenna is a sensor transducer that converting electrical to electric. This is not the simple one. Nowadays it is in body centric, so it is a patch or microstrip, and how it is affecting the body and how it is powerful to, and what are the distances is there. Some in for short distance we use the Bluetooth low energy level, a wireless protocol that designed for the short range and low power communication. BLE is the uniqueness, and in wearables it connects the smartwatch and fitness band to the smartphone, and for short distance it is very easy essential, and for low energy consumption allow the small device to run battery day or the week. Battery of the power is a very much important. That Apple, I am getting the data for 14 days. 14 days power is essential. That is the power taking from the solar or power taking from the battery. How it is done? Everybody know about the smart dust. That when the cancer cell in the body, then cancer, how it will be getting data injecting smart dust. Smart dust is nothing but a sensor, and then sensor communication devices, the data to be transmitted. So battery is also an important and challenging part of this. And now the depend the communication technology or the connecting devices, that is also a challenge. And why we use the Bluetooth or the Zigbee? If we go for the short communication, suppose my smartwatch to my mobile phone, we go for the Bluetooth. Zigbee is a wireless mesh networking protocol that is used in the IoT environment. Zigbee is also low power and connect multiple devices in a mesh. In healthcare, Zigbee must be found in the smart home setup, and for example the networking of sensors in patient home and is in the ICU patient, and a central gateway. It is not a common wearable BLE, but in hospital Zigbee could be used to asset tracking the tags and the smart words, And the Zigbee mesh is the capability of useful of covering larger area like a clinic and home, many devices ensuring data and hop through the network reliability. So what in single word we can go for by short distance. But mine data, regular healthcare data is to connect to my mobile, that is the through Bluetooth. And suppose in hospital there is a system that ICU patients data need to be monitored to different unit, so we need the Zigbee based systems. And third one is the Wi-Fi. We all know that the smart wireless and LAN tech and the Internet of Things, and in hospitals some advanced medical devices and hubs connect the Wi-Fi directly and internet or local network. For example, a Wi-Fi enabled glucometer nowadays available, and that blood pressure monitor is also available, that is the Wi-Fi also track data. Now it is available that Wi-Fi is incorporated with the different blood pressure monitoring devices, and it can be connected through network, and through cloud it will be data to be transmit to different devices. And the slide, this is the Wi-Fi is the IOMT, and this device need to send data directly over the existing internet infrastructure and through telemedicine or the remote monitoring systems and healthcare units. So there are several type of communication equipment that will be incorporated with the IOMT. So what are the IOMT? IOMT, the basic part is the sensor. Sensor data is processed through signal conditioner, and that data is need to be through AI and computing device. It will be changed according to requirement, and then the different telemedicine something, that part will be from the remote end. And so the communication is essential, but there is a need of connectivity. So IOMT is the basic and important part of this system. Without IOMT ecosystem, these part is this is the most essential. Now most usable subset in the IoT is the IOMT. Connectivity technology, I already told about this. Now this is the architecture, that sensor analytics, and that sensor gives to the edge analytics through different connectivity, maybe the Bluetooth, maybe the Zigbee, maybe the Wi-Fi, these data, and through cloud analytics it will be stored, and it will be accessed by different healthcare professional remote telemedicine, and according to it will be returned back the result, that is medicine required or any type of care required. That is the outcome of different AI and computing technologies and through analytics. And these are the basics. Without these we cannot do any analytics. So sensor, edge analytics, cloud analytics, these are the essential parts. Edge is the faster, private, low latency. Cloud is the basics part. We all know that is the massive analytics and historical data. So in IOMT, edge refer to the processing data or near the source devices. The edge of the network, edge computing means the wearable or the local hub, like smartphone is the local hub, and performs the data processing tasks locally rather than sending everything to the discrete server. It is not essential that sometimes that my data is sent to a remote from the 5,000 kilometer, 1,000 kilometer, not required. So edge computing is the faster response, privacy, and low latency at the edge. For example, if smartwatch detects the dangerous heart rhythm, it can alert the wearer immediately that your heart rate is beyond the system, or your glucose rate is changing. So edge computing is the easiest and low cost also and fast response. So it will be used to edge computing rather than the cloud computing. Cloud computing is required where the massive analytics and the access of historical data is required. For research, we can go for that these type of data will need to be saved or something. So go for this. But for short, it can go for this. AI in IOMT already told that your data need to be analyzed or when I go for an algorithm making that, suppose my data is 85 now rate. Now if it is greater than 100, we already check through algorithm if it is greater than 100 or not. If it is greater than 100, then send the data, send the message to the healthcare person or make a alarm, set a alarm that you have some anomaly detection or something. That is the, and next part is the personalized alert and the treatment suggestion. So that is the simple one, but you have to apply through different networks and different applications of sensors that you can do it. And power is the one of the most important part of this IOMT, and that energy harvesting low power chips is required. I already told that 14 days your chip will be connected to the body for monitoring. So it is, so 14 days power is required. This power may be from the solar, power may be from the cheapest battery, and that is the, and also the size important. So battery optimization is a research area nowadays. Wearables, as the sensor prices are less, so lots of wearable devices in the market. So that is the part. So similarly the advancement also, the in even EV technology also, we know that electric vehicle, lots of electric vehicle is with the nowadays in market with the battery use of the battery, changing the battery technology. So similarly in everywhere in the battery is a important part, and in IOMT also. Security, your health data I am not by accessed by somebody, so it is the personal. So there will be the cyber security part is also incorporated with the IOMT data. That blockchain and identity access management, that is the part different part to be in this IOMT based research. You incorporate cyber security, that is the data to be stored securely through encryption. And IOMT market day by day increasing. It is in a geometric nature. In after COVID, and that is it is essential part. Before COVID, IOMT is if increased rate of IOMT the 5% or something, and now it is 304% and 400%, because that market is adopted and market required that IOMT. That is the global adaptation map. That is that IOMT is nowadays that this subset is most used subset is Internet of Things, that IOMT. Different type of case studies I already told about that. Different cases, suppose that glucose, and always that 100 we are measuring the glucose level of blood or something, that cardiac pulse rate and apnea or arrhythmia I'm detecting through algorithm, and remote patient monitoring through telemedicine service or healthcare or hospitalization or the old age people care. That are the huge responsibilities there, and the different type of uses is there. And as well as normal people, we also that fitness, wellness, our sleep, our stress level, that are also through smartwatch we can detect that I am under stress, or we are our fitness level, that is the post recovery operation recovery tracking, that is from the hospital they are taking. That is my startup also. Gen Health Hub is go connecting with the hospital, that I already signed a MOU with the Narayan Medical Care and Hospital, that my product, which is now in the incubation phase, that is making a wearable devices, and that will be connected to the patient who is releasing from the hospital, and after 15 days or 13 days, hospital can check from the data from online. That is my startup that I am doing by hand on. And not only Apple, that is the also different giant company, they are also in IOMT. Cloud based remain patient already Philips have, and secured AI-driven alert and integration with the hospital IT system. That is already in different ICU unit in India, and they are using these Philips Health Suite. And when that, I already told that somebody will go for the contaminated disease. If I go for the any contaminated disease, that any patient, if I go for the, go not to touch the people or untouchable or something, then I use the IOMT to giving the care, and some to the persons also getting the benefited through the into innovations of the advancement of IOMT. Insurances and incentivize the wearable use, telemedicine integration for better outcome, that is the telehealth and insurance both are the incorporated nowadays. Now IOMT in our society, it is that without IOMT we can do nothing. So these are the some important subset of this. And interoperability challenges, there are lots of challenges is there. That is not the low cost, mainly that Indian market, that Indian economy, we cannot access everything, because that our, we know that early 90s smartwatches uses in the European or American based country, but now in these domain, this is a low cost sensor or low cost devices, we will use it. But it is under law that somebody doing that law will be in India. Their law yet to be doing the IMT, but in recent future it will be in within 3 to 4 years. It must have some law, and that law required for the data security or something, that patient data, for the ownership database and how it will be maintained or something, that is a compliances is required in everywhere. There is a compliances. So in IOMT is also under compliances. There are different consumer and medical calibration and testing is very much important for these devices. Suppose calibration means, what do you mean by calibration? Suppose if best example is that in a digital weighing scale, if you are giving the 1 kg showing 1 kg, so it is 100% with the accuracy level is there. Somebody is 5 grams, somebody is 2 grams, somebody, some devices in 1 gram or something. Similarly, in your blood pressure measuring electric device or digital device, if measure blood pressure 120 by 80, but it measure actual 120 by 80, it measuring that 130 by 97, or maybe the sometime the 100. So it regularly need to be calibrated. These calibration and testing and importance. Otherwise, your digital data may not in use. Sometime in the you use the telemedicine or something, but you don't have this because the wrong calibration. So this is the most important part. It is in regular 6 months you need to be calibrated. If you all have the medical devices in your home, that is need to be calibrated, and regularly you should check it, the manual systems, and need to be calibrated. And this part is missing in India. We all purchase that electric different digital meter for blood pressure monitoring machines in everywhere. And so, but you know that is, it is calibrated or not. Even if you measure the blood pressure in your device and go for a shop, get the difference, and go to doctor, another data. So that is due to the lack of calibration and lack of any certifications. All need to be calibrated properly, not in paper, not in, but in actual, because these devices are incorporated with our life. So ethics is very much essential. We can do everything with the AI models, but ethics is, it is related to health. So ethics is too much important. Smart tattoos, I don't want to incorporate more. In USA or something, they are using the smart tattoos or something, and future, and is that different type of sensor is integrating. So these IOMT devices used for the surgical assistances, and different the virtual therapy of rehab, it will be done. So everybody now, my recent books already, it is now 3 or 4 days ago, it is that by the Elsevier we have done it with the one of the robotic surgeon of Delhi Apollo Hospital, that is Dr. Arun Prasad. So you can submit the chapters, and already my numbers or mail ID you can get from the your faculty members or known people. I also share it. If anybody give the chapters or something, they are welcome. There is a lots of use of IOMT in these chapters, and this is my 3 or 4 days ago. It is this project is approved by the Elsevier. All are the Scopus index. So different type of insulin pump, pain management, these are the important part in each that part also using in India. So this is my, I already told about that I have a personalized medicine based startup, Zen Health Hub, that is the with the in wearable custom treatment plan that we are incubation phase. But my another startup with an electric vehicle that is on the market, that you if you search that Electrovent LLP, you know about these. And they have different type of career. And yes, as that IOMT technologies is in regularly increasing, so there need the professionals. So mainly the hardware people, software people, they all are the requirement. So in regular basis, in the 4 5 years, that these the IOMT professional and technologies get a lots of job will be there. And compliance, I already told that it is a compliance based system, cyber security specialist and quality safety engineers for calibration, calibration specialist. These are the different type of part will be required for this. Entrepreneurship, already I have a small startup. Anybody can do for the startup in IOMT. And telehealth platform and innovation hub, different incubator, they are helping. And anybody have the idea and doing want to do the startups or any idea, can assist me, call me, I will assist you to get to be it will be go for incubation or something, prototype, even seed fund also I will help. This is just smallest quiz I will share to you. You will can you will I will share to you, and according to you will do it on your own, not any points or any marks. For IOMT base, you can do it. I will share it. Thank you. My details is there, and anybody can mail me that rajesh.day@ium.edu.my. You may connect me, and that is my LinkedIn profile. So you all connect with me. Anybody have any startup idea, I will assist. Anybody have some paper or for that book chapter for my Elsevier robotic surgery, that in the by LinkedIn it is there. So you can connect me or send me the chapters that is Scopus indexed, or even anything related to startup on any projects related, I go for the collaboration or something. Anybody can touch with me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Uh, Participant, our next session is now started. Before that, I would like to thank to Dr. Rajesh Dey, sir. Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable insights and expertise with us. Your session has provided us with this deeper understanding and of AI application and emerging technologies in healthcare, and we are truly inspired by the work and the guidance. Thank you so much, sir. All
Thank you,
party,
ma'am.
okay. Uh, all participants,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
dear all the participants, we will start our next session by Dr. Vanita Kshirsagar, ma'am. Uh, the introduction of the Dr. Vanita Kshirsagar, ma'am. She is our next speaker. She is associated professor in the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science at the Dr. Diva Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune. He had with the over 19 years of teaching experience in research and academics. Dr. Vanita ma'am had the significant contribution in engineering, education, academic innovation, and research development. She has has mentored countless students and has been actively working in on integrating AI introduction, AI practical healthcare solutions. Dr. Vanita ma'am has also coordinated in the faculty development program also, leading the learn and bridging together the enriching academic platform. Today she will be enlightening on the topic of global trends and the innovations in the medical technology. Let's join together. Welcome to Dr. Vanita Kshirsagar ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. So today's topic is global trends and innovations in medical technology. I'm Dr. Vanita Shirsagar, Associate Professor, DY Patil Institute of Technology. So in global technology, trends and innovation in medical, AI, machine learning, and predictive analysis plays a very vital role in this. Uh, AI models, which are increasingly used to analyze AI models, which are increasingly used to analyze medical images like MRI, CT scan, X-rays for early detection of conditions like a cancer or cardiovascular diseases. So also in a use of large language models, which are used in a generative AI to reduce the workload, to summarize the patient history, also automate the reports, streaming administratives. So there are some wearable remote monitoring systems are there and IoT in healthcare. So wearable devices which have from fitness tracker, clinical grade devices, some monitoring vitals, ECGs. So these are all we all of you know that the wearable devices which are based IoT based that we are using daily. We are using um, watches also to identify the health history again. So precision medicine, genomics, and cellular therapies are also there to identify some genomics, gene editing, or the mRNA therapies which are enable the treatments and the patient's genetic profile. Also cellular therapies are there, that is a CAR T cell therapies which are used to regenerate medicine and becoming more feasible and more addressing diseases previously too hard to treat. So robotics, minimally invasive and imaging innovations. So we can use the robotic surgeries, continues to improve the precision. Again, integrate AI for better guidance and also fewer errors, faster recovery also. So imaging technologies advancing higher resolution, faster scan, lower radiations. Also the 3D printing we are using for more custom implants, that is prosthetic animatical models. Also for virtual reality, augmented reality, extended reality are also we are using. These are the being adopted for surgical training, medical education, patient rehabilitation, that is pain management therapy, and assisting the surgeons during the complex procedure. So digital health platforms in a telemedicine and hybrid care models used again in a regularity, ethical and sustainability factors. We can use this AI variables, AI ethical use of the AI, again sustainability of AI. These are the we can include. So introduction to the medical technology evolution. So medical technology has always been at the heart of improving patient care. It began as a simple tool such as a stethoscope and thermometer, which has now transferred into the advanced digital platforms powered by artificial intelligence. The journey of medical technology reflects humanity ongoing request to diagnose earlier, treat earlier, also treat better and monitor continuously. As per the historical perspective and milestone, in 1816, the stethoscope that is revolutionized physical examination and diagnosis of the chest and the heart conditions. In 1895, X-rays, which are allowed physician to look inside the human body without surgery for the first time. In 1950, pacemakers are there, which are used to mark the beginning of life-saving implantable medical devices. 1970s to 80s, CT scan, MRI provided unpredicted imaging precision and become a diagnostic gold standard. In 2000, robotic surgery and telemedicine, which are used to minimally invasive surgeries and remote consultations. In the present day, AI, IOMT, digital health, these are used to combine computing power with a big data, cloud platforms, and connected devices to deliver personalized, predictive, and preventive health care. So, the role of AI and digital transformation in healthcare. So AI, that is artificial intelligence algorithms, which are used to analyze radiology, scans, pathology slides, and even retinal images with a high accuracy. They support doctors in early disease detection, reducing diagnostic errors. आता लगेच का? Just a minute. So, a role of artificial intelligence and digital transformation in the healthcare. So, AI diagnosis is there, predictive analysis, AI models, AI diagnosis, predictive analysis, and the AI models are there for the process of vast amount of the patient data to predict health risk and the recommend the preventive measures. There are some digital transformation for electronic health records, telehealth platforms, and the cloud-based health records applications, which are enable real-time patient monitor interaction across the globe. Again, IOMT is there, Internet of Medical Things, that is a smart wearable devices which are track the person's heart rate, again the oxygen saturation, blood glucose, transmit the data for the healthcare providers for continuous monitoring. Again, for future outlook, interaction of the AI, robotics, genomics, that is again a precision identifying the medicine, that is computing the pave the way of personalized precision medicine and next generation therapies. So medical intelligence in medtech. Artificial intelligence in medtech. So So in AI-powered diagnosis, artificial intelligence played a very important role. It has become the most disruptive forces in the field of medical therapy technology. It integrates machine learning, deep learning, and the data-driven algorithms into the clinical practice, allowing healthcare providers to diagnose, monitor, and treat the patients more effectively. So with the exponential growth of the digital health data, there are electronic health records, that is EHR, medical imaging, again wearable devices like watch, a smartwatch, and genomics. AI provides healthcare professionals with the tools to derive actionable insights that were previously impossible through the traditional methods. The global healthcare ecosystem is experiencing a paradigm shift where AI, which is no longer just a research concept but a critical enabler for the precision medicine. So, proactive patient care and the operational efficiency in the hospital, the most impactful domains where AI is creating a breakthrough are diagnostic and the medical imaging, predictive analysis, in patient care, and AI driven clinical decision support system. So, AI powered diagnostic and imaging. So, this is AI detect early signs and diseases, again, like a cancer, stroke, or the eye disorder. So here we have used the images, brain images, MRI images, and based on that we can identify the person's brain condition. Again, we can identify the early disease detection by using the AI tools, which can identify the patterns in the images. So there are some invisible, there are some often and invisible to the human eye. So, for instance, AI has been used to detect early signs of the lung cancer in CT scan, diabetic, again in a retinal images, again cardiovascular abnormalities. Identify the early detections not only improves the patient survival rate but also it reduces the healthcare cost by enabling timely intervention. Again, for error reduction, so traditional methodologies we have used for this practices to prone to diagnostic errors due to the fatigue workload or the human bias. So AI powered imaging systems acts as a second reader, minimizing the false positives and false negatives. So, for example, Google's DeepMind AI has outperformed expert radiologists in identifying breast cancers from mammograms with higher accuracy and consistency. Enhanced interpretation beyond detecting the abnormalities, AI providers, physicians, and the quantified data such as tumor size, growth rate, and or risk scores again helps in a treatment planning. AI-based pathology tools also accelerate the analysis of biopsy samples, reducing the turnaround time for a critical diagnostic. So, therefore, the AI is not replacing the radiologist, but rather augmenting their capabilities, allowing them to focus on the complex cases while routine image and analysis is automated. So, predictive analytics in patient care. So, one of the most transformative applications of AI in medtech lies in the predictive analytics. So, to analyze vast diseases, include patient history, lab test results, genetic information, and lifestyle data. AI can predict future health outcomes and help physicians to take a preventive measures. Risk predictions. AI models can predict likelihood of the patient developing chronic illness such as diabetes, heart disease, kidney failure. So, for example, machine learning algorithms in the hospital use the very large role to sign the data to predict the onset of the step in ICU patients hour before traditional clinical signs appear. So, proactive interventions which represent or which enables healthcare providers to intervene early. So, preventing complications and the hospital readmissions. For instance, AI powered healthcare monitoring system for the heart disease can alert the doctors if a patient is a high risk of a cardiac arrest. Also, enable timely medications for lifestyle changes. Resource optimization. In this predictive analytics, which is not only benefits the patients but also hospitals by forecasting the patient's admissions, emergency room demand, again and requires staffing. This ensures identify the use of resources and resources operational cost. Resource optimization in the predictive analytics not only benefits the patients but also the hospital by forecasting the patients and admissions, emergency room demand, and the required staffing. So here, uh, in the AI-based clinical decision support system, that is CDSS, that is AI-based clinical decision support system, which is AI-powered platform designed to assist the healthcare professionals in making better clinical decisions. These systems analyze patient specific data and provide evidence based recommendations for diagnostic, treatment, and follow up care. So, treatment recommendations, that is CDSS, Clinical Decision Support System, integrates vast amount of clinical guidelines, research literature, and patient history to suggest personalized treatment plans. IBM Watson for oncology is a widely cited example for the AI assist oncologist by recommending tailored cancer treatment options based on the patient profile. Just a minute. Wearable devices and remote monitoring. So all of you know that wearable devices plays a are major transforming healthcare by enable continuous and real time monitoring of patients. So there is a so at the last we have used the traditional checkups for in the hospital during the hospital visit. So there are wearable health devices such as a smartwatch, fitness tracker, biosensors, and the smart patches allow data to be collected 24 by 7. So the sign of that wearable devices which measure heart rate, oxygen saturation, blood pressure, body temperature, physical activity, so they provide patients and doctors early warning sign of a health deterioration. So empower the patients become an active participant to their healthcare journey by monitoring their own health, encouraging preventive care and lifestyle modifications. So integration with the mobile apps and AI-based dashboards enables doctors to track the trends over a time to detect anomalies and make evidence-based decisions. Apple Watch is there for ECG monitoring. Fitbit is the activity and the heart rate. Again, our ring, that is sleep tracking, identify. Again, biointel science, biosticker. So that is used for multi-parameter health monitoring. So here in this diagram, wearable health monitors are there. So these are the ECG, heart rate, muscle movement, again the temperature, glucose, plantar pressure. So these are all the devices which are attached to the human bodies, and the information is sent to the cloud or the AI-based wearable sensors. So So the rise of wearable devices is bridging the gap between the clinical visits and the everyday health monitoring, ensuring the healthcare is not just a episodic but it is a continuous. So in internet of medical things we have connected the devices that using the IOMT, like ECG is there, insulin pumps are there, hospital based devices such as infusion pumps and the smart beds. Again, in a real time exchange, we have used patients psychological data is transmitted to the healthcare and provides a real time. For example, the patient's smartwatch, which can instantly send to the ECG data to their cardiologist for immediate analysis. Again, cloud based analytics is there, personalized medicine is there. So personalized medicine is continuously monitoring the person's or the patient's behavior and the psychology. IOMT enables the information about the real world evidences rather than the occasional hospital visit. So, smart wearables for chronic disease management. So, glucose monitors, that is chronic disease such as diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and respiratory illness, which are major global health concerns. Smart wearable offers powerful tools for continuous disease management and patient engagement. Diabetes management, continuous glucose monitor, CGM, that is like a Dexom 6 G6 and Abbott's freestyle liber allow diabetic for complex problem solving. It ensures uh, again for the patient track glucose level in a real time, reduce the need of the prick test. Devices which we have used for the cardiovascular monitoring, that is Apple Watch, that is alive for cardiac detect. Again, monitor heart rate variability and also can generate the echocardiogram and demand. So smart inhalers are there to track the medications again and use inhalation techniques, reminding asthma or copad patients to take their doses and altering the doctors about the non-compliance. So in a patient adherence, wearable wearables improve the adherence of the patients and lifestyle modifications by sending the reminders, feedbacks, and motivational insights through the companion applications. So the innovations that are not only reduce the hospital visit but also they provides doctor and longitudinal patient data which help them to detect disease progression early and adjust the treatment accordingly. So in a remote patient monitoring and telehealth platforms, we have used RPM. RPM is used to combine remote patient monitoring is used to combine with the telehealth platform such as gain immense momentum, especially after the COVID-19. Instead of being confined to the hospital, patients can now be monitored and treated in their homes. So telemedicine is the concept. Virtual consultations through the platforms like a Practo, Teladoc, Microsoft Teams enables doctor to diagnose and treat the patient remotely. Home monitoring system is there, so where the patients with the chronic illness, that is hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, that can use to connect the devices that transmit. Sorry. So doctor can identify the early if the system detects the dangerous strain in the home monitoring system, and also reduce the hospital readmissions with the help of detect the health deterioration before it becomes critical, prevent emergency admissions, and lowering the cost also. AI enabled dashboards are there which are used in a healthcare providers can view aggregated patient data on AI dashboards which highlights risk score, predict the future complications, and generate automated alerts. So, as shown in the figure, the person is remotely monitoring by using, he is walking and he is remotely monitoring by the systems. So, if there is a emergency, so there will be a ambulance will become. If that person miss whatever it require, the information is provided by remotely. So robotics in the healthcare. So why we require robotics? So we require robotics because to reduce the error rate. Correct. So robotics have emerged as one of the most transformative innovations in the modern healthcare, revolutionizing sur- surgery, rehabilitation, patient care, and hospital management. By combining the mechanical precision with the advanced artificial intelligence and machine learning robots have become a vital tool in the enhancing medical outcomes, improve efficiency, and reducing human error. In surgical settings, robotics assisted systems such as the Data Vinci surgical system, which have enabled minimal invasive procedures with the tiny incisions using a robotic arms controlled via a console, thereby reducing the recovery time, minimizing the blood loss, also improve the overall patient safety. So beyond the surgery, rehabilitation robots are being widely used in the assist of the patients recovering from the strokes, spinal cord injuries, and the mobility impairments. In the hospital management, autonomous service robots handle repetitive essential tasks like medicine delivery, disinfections, and the patient monitoring. This automation reduces the workload of the healthcare staff, allow, allow them to focus on more complex and the patient-centered care. So robots such as a TUG for logistic and UV for disinfection robots. Again, when integrated with the AI, robotics takes a step further into the predictive analytics, adapting learning and autonomous decisions, making this enables smarter patient care system capable of monitoring health data in real time and responding proactively. So integration of AI for automations in the essence of robotics is not just a technical upgrade for the paradigm shift in the healthcare delivery. It promises a greater precision, improved patient recovery, reduced medical errors, and enhance hospital efficiency, making it an it for the next generation medical care. So surgical robots. So already I have told you about the Da Vinci surgical system. So the one of the most important and the widely used robotic platform enables surgeries in a cardiology, urology, and gynecology. The robotic arms provide enhanced flexibility in the 3D visualization, tiny incisions, tiny incisions. So the here it is diagram is represented the Da Vinci robotic surgery. So in this robot is at the surgery. It enhances dexterity and range motion of your surgeon's hands and adds precision in the hard to reach areas. So there are four robotics arm which are represented here in this diagram. Robotics arm are there. These are the four robotics arm represented here in the which hold surgical instruments, and an endoscopic camera is there that allows your surgeon to see inside your body. So that allow the surgeon here. So here is a surgeon who is seeing inside your body, and he using these arms to do the surgery. So instruments fit through the small incisions. This eliminates the need for the larger incisions, like the one surgeon make the traditional open surgeries. In the most cases, this results in the fewer post-operative wound applications and quicker recovery time. So most important of this is robotic instruments not only move when the surgeon is controlling them, and no point does the robot operates on its own. So the Da Vinci surgical system got the name from the Landro da Vinci study of human and at anatomy. So that is FDA, US Food Drug Administration, cleared the Da Vinci robot. So the Da Vinci surgical system assists the main part, that is control center. So here surgeon and sits here and during the operations, and a screen gives them high definition 3D views of the surgical sites and allow them to control robotic arms. The controls look a bit like arcade joystick. Next is the patient cart. So this cart stays next to you during your operation. It holds the robotic arms and any necessary instrument for the procedure. And the third one is the vision card. Vision card. So this unit contains hardware and software necessary to operate the Da Vinci surgical room. Also help for the secondary video screen. So your surgery team can see this what happened during your procedure. So what type of surgery does the Da Vinci do? So it can do the colostomy, endometrial ablation, gallbladder removal, gastric sleeve surgery, etc. So what happens during the Da Vinci surgery? So in the Vinci surgery, an anesthesiologist will give you general anesthesia. After that, the surgical team set up the Da Vinci robot and the position the patient cart next to you. Then surgeon will make a few small incisions, that is the exact number of the depends on what type of a procedure you need and what part your body needs a treatment. So then your surgeon will carefully insert the instrument through the incision. Then they will attach the surgical instruments to the robotic arms. Then they can see the clear and high definition view of the surgical site. And based on that, it will be used. Robots can control or the guide the instrument. Then robotic arms move, enhanced reaching the tight spaces with the precision, and the robot only moves when your surgeon does. Once your surgeon completes your procedure, they will remove the surgical instruments and close your incisions. What are the advantages of Da Vinci? So it require less blood loss, less trauma to your tissues, and the smaller incisions. Also fewer complications and the infections, less pain, less scaring, shorter hospital stage, shorter recovery time it require. So this is the diagram which represent the surgical robot. Here the robot is operating, doing the surgery. Next is the orthopodic robots. So robots such as a Mako and the Mako and Rosa are used in a joint replacement and the orthopodic surgery. They assist surgeons in a pre-operative planning and intraoperative precision, ensuring implants are positioned with a millimeter accuracy. So the benefits of this robot or orthopedic robot is the faster recovery, reduced risk infection, and the less pain and less blood loss, and a shorter hospital stay. Rehabilitation, rehabilitation and robots, prosynthetics. So in this process, the devices such as which represent the robotic exoskeletons help patients who have suffered from the strokes, spinal cord injury, spinal cord injury, and other mobility impairment. So they supported walking training, muscle strengthening, and the neuro rehabilitation. So the example of that is Exco Bionics and the Rewalk Robotics, which is represented here in a diagram again. Impact of this technology enhance the quality of life, speed up the rehabilitation, and provide the independence to individuals with the disability. So AI driven automation in hospitals. So the AI powered robots are increasingly used in the hospital for non-surgical tasks, making healthcare more efficient. So logistic robots are there, disinfection robots, nursing and support robots are there, which gives the benefits like increased efficiency, reduce the operational cost, enhance the safety for both patients and healthcare workers. So here the camera video represent that this is the smart hospital where everything of the patient is monitored. So which is represented here. Sailing microphone is there, virtual nursing is there, waste stone is there, Camera is there, which is continuously operating, continuously monitoring that patient. Telehealth cart, again, pressure pad chair is there, pressure pad smart bed is there. Okay. So the examples of TUG, that is tug robot attention, that is UV disinfecting robots is there. That is Xenex. So this first robot, tug robot, is used for means hospital related medicines and all, taking care of it. For that purpose, they have used. So personalized and precision medicine. So moving towards this personalized and precision medicine, the healthcare, which has a traditionally relied on a generalized model where the treatments are designed for the average patient. So this approach often fails to consider individual variability in genetics, environments, and lifestyle. Personalizing and precision medicine represent the shift, focusing on the tailor medicine, medical treatments, and unique characteristics for each patient's. Advances in genomics, proteomics, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology have made this possible. So together they enable healthcare providers to predict disease risk, design targeted therapies, also improve the outcomes. Genomics, proteomics, and AI-driven drug discovery. So genomics involves sequencing and analyzing an individual DNA to understand genetic predispositions. For instance, identifying these mutations in the BRCA1, BRCA2 genes helps to assess the breast cancer risk. In the next, for modern sequencing technology like next generation sequencing, again proteomics used for the workhorses of the body. Protein serve biomarkers diseases such as Alzheimer's or cardiovascular. AI in a drug discovery is a revolutionizing pharmaceutical research, traditionally developing a new drug which takes a 10 to 15 years and billions of dollars. AI accelerate it, and this is by simulating the molecular interactions. Next is the tailored treatment plans using machine learning, which predict. Machine learning models is used to analyze the patient data using genomics, lifestyle, electronic health records to predict the disease risk. For example, machine learning can detect early signs of a heart diseases before symptoms appear. So, a precision oncology is there, identifying the genetic mutations in a tumors, which guides the section of targeted drugs, ensuring better treatment response. Reduce the trial and error in medicine. So instead of prescribing standard medications that may or may not work in a machine learning system, recommended treatments most likely for success for a specific patient. 3D bioprinting and regenerative medicine. So here, either 3D print an organs that mimics the lungs. Again, regenerative medicines are there. So using biolinks, 3D printers can create tissues such as the skin, cartilage, and even sections of the organs. So researchers who are progressing towards the printing an entire functional organs for transportation, such as which cloud which is used to global organ shortage crisis. Again, in a regenerative medicine, customized implants, and the pros customized implants. Again, in a 3D printing used. So, digital health and the virtual care. So telemedicine and e-health platforms are there. Again, virtual reality and augmented reality are used in a medical training and the therapy. So again, chatbots are used in a virtual health assist, which assist virtual health. So here the diagram is represent. This is the AI image which represent the person's health condition. The health condition of that person is, what are the benefits, what is the disinfection, what is the logistic, what are the benefits that person is getting. So here the diagram represent how the 3D printing is useful. Here the on the laptop that is represented how they are creating the 3D print of it and where we need to put that object again. So the global market trends in med tech in the current or in the med tech, that is medical technology, the industry which have emerged as one of the most rapidly evolving sector with the global healthcare. This sector identified the wide range of products from diagnostic tools, imaging systems, and wearable devices to surgical robots, telemedicine platforms, and AI driven analytics with the convergence of advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence, Internet of Medical Things, 3D printing, blockchain, global medtech market is undergoing transformative changes. Again, the some sections are there, that is current market size and the growth forecast, regional trends across the USA, Europe, and Asia. The role of the startup and innovation hubs are there for shaping the industry future. So the current market size and the growth forecast is that in the market 2025 medtech industry is valued over US dollar 600 billion globally with expectations to exceed US dollar 900 billion by 2030. So growth rate is compound annual growth rate, that is CAGR, is projected between 5 to 8% in the varying across the segment. For example, in the digital health and wearable devices, the experiencing growth rates of more than 15% compound annual growth rate, that is CAGR. Regional trends in USA, Europe, and Asia. Again, in the ethical regulatory policy, uh, that is AI ethics in the healthcare application, FDA regulations for medical devices and AI tools, some of the challenges. So here in the integration of artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, and digital health platforms into the modern healthcare that has transformed into the clinical practices, diagnosis, treatment, planning, and patient care. So, this rapid advancement also raises significant ethical regularity and policy related challenges. To address these issues, is essential to ensure that technologies are safe, effective, transparent, and equitable for all populations. AI ethics in healthcare applications. In artificial intelligence, the healthcare revolutionary opportunities from predictive analytics and early disease detections to robot assist surgery and personalized medicine. So it use to introduce the ethical demands that demand careful consideration. So there are some key issues in the ethical bias and fairness, transparency and explainability, patient autonomy and consent, accountability and liability, data privacy. So these are all the key issues. Again, ethical principles, guidelines in AI healthcare, that is uh, beneficials about ensuring the application, AI applications to promote the patient's well-being. Again, avoiding harm caused by inaccurate or biased AI input, guaranteeing fair access to AI benefits across all patient groups, respecting patients' right to make informed decisions. FDAC regulations for medical devices and AI tool is the safe for adoption of AI medical technologies depend on the regularity frameworks Two of the most recognized authorities are US Food and Drug Administrations are there for conformate Europe European making in Europe, that is FDA regulations in United States, role of FDA in a FDA that ensures the medical devices include AI based software safe and effective before they reach the market. Software as a medical device, that is SAMD AI tools. Again, approval of the pathways, that is clearance, de novo pathway, and the high risk innovative devices requiring the rigorous trials. Some challenges are there in the AI systems are dynamic, continuously learning from a new data. Traditional FDA approval processes were designed for a statistic devices. So these are the challenges in the global adaptation, regularity, fragmentation challenge is there in the AI medtech. Again, infrastructure gap, cost accessibility, data governance, and privacy is there in the healthcare very significantly without international standards, sharing data for training. For training, it is very difficult. Again, cultural and ethical acceptance is there. Again, talent and training. So, skilled healthcare is required, and data scientist again required. So, this is the future roadmap of medical technology. So, in the field of medical technology, that is MedTech, which stands at the critical turning point. So, the rapid advances in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, biotechnology, and digital platforms reshape healthcare systems worldwide. So, the future roadmap will not only redefine diagnosis, treatment, and prevention, but also address the global challenges such as aging populations, chronic diseases, healthcare inequalities, and rising the cost. So this section identifies that the convergence of a technology, next generation healthcare delivery models, and the opportunities, challenges which are so convergence of AI, quantum computing, and biotechnology in the healthcare. So there are three transformative domains, that is artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and biotechnology. So artificial intelligence is already revolutionized healthcare by powering medical imaging, predictive analytics, drug discovery, and personalized treatment. So its ability to process the vast data set enables real-time diagnosis, remote monitoring, and automation of clinical workflow. So future AI system will evolve into self-learning adaptive models, which can continuously update from new patient data, making diagnose more accurate and care more dynamic. Next is the quantum computing. So classical computers used for the simulating complex molecular interactions in a drug discovery, again genomic variations across billion of a DNA sequences. So quantum computing can perform this task exponentially faster by exploring quantum superposition and entanglement in the healthcare quantum systems. So, to accelerate the drug discovery, simulate the molecular interactions, enable personalized genomics, to decode the DNA structures, enhance the predictive models by processing multidimensional health data set, that is electronic health record is there, genomics, proteomics, lifestyle data. Last is the biotechnology. So biotechnology is is a CRISPR gene editing. So, regenerative medicine, stem cell therapies, and the synthetic biology are bridging the medicine closer to cultivate, to identify the palliative care. For example, CRISPR can potentially correct the genetic disorder like sickle cell anemia or muscular dystrophy. So, next is the convergence. Convergence impact in this identify in AI, quantum computing, and biotechnology. So, create precision healthcare ecosystem where diseases which are represented as predicted before symptoms occur. Tailored therapies are privileged or identified based on the genetic profiles. Drug discovery and the damaged tissue organs regenerative of the or repair and replacement of a damaged tissue organs. Next generation healthcare delivery models. In the future healthcare system, which will shift from away from the traditional hospital centric model towards the patient centric, technology driven delivery framework. So, telemedicine and virtual care, smart hospitals, personalized preventive medicine, home based healthcare models, hybrid human clinical teams, insurance, and value based care. So, these models emphasize accessibility, affordability, and sustainability in healthcare delivery. So, there are some challenges and opportunities also. So early disease detection is the opportunity identify the challenge again global accessibility, drug discovery and regenerative therapies, personalized care, healthcare sustainability. These are all opportunities that we can do. Again, challenges, ethical and privacy concerns. So handling sensitive genomic and per patient data requires robust ethical and legal frameworks. Regularity, barriers that is current frameworks, FDA, CE are not fully equipped to regulate the self-learning AI systems for cross-border tele. Equity access advanced medtech may be affordable for wealthy nations, but out of reach for low-income countries, potentially widening global health workforce readiness. So doctors, nurses, and health workers need reskilling and to adopt the AI-driven systems. Resistance to technology adoption may delay benefits. Cybersecurity risk, IOMT, and AI-based healthcare systems are vulnerable to hacking, requiring stringent blockchain and encryption technologies. Integration combining diverse data set, electronic health record, genomic lifestyle, environmental remains technically and logistically challenging. So, the future roadmap of medical technology is poised to transform healthcare into a more predictive, personalized, and accessible systems. So, the AI, quantum computing, and biotechnology will revolutionize diagnosis, treatment, and prevention in the next generation healthcare delivery models, which will decentralized care, leveraging telemedicine, IOMT, and smart hospitals to ensure continuous monitoring and value-based outcomes. So, so this is the transformation is not without challenges. So ethical, regularity, privacy, and equity issues must be addressed, identified here in the medical technologies. So the benefits of all populations fairly, again with the careful planning, global cooperation, and the responsible innovations, the future may take and redefine the human health and human health again. So here I can finish the global trends and innovation in the medical technology. If any questions you are having, you can ask. Unmute yourself and ask the questions. If any.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Vanita Kshirsagar ma'am, for your
Thank you, ma'am.
valuable insights. Your session has very broadened our perspective on the global trends in the medical technology. Participant, the conclusion of day one on our faculty development program on the behalf of organizing team, we sincerely thank you for our Dr. Rajesh Desav for taking the time of share his experience with us today and the guidance of total AI and emerging technologies in healthcare is a bit, very truly enlightening and grateful to valuable in this FDP. We also extend heartful to Dr. Vanita Shirsagar ma'am, which is the associate professor and the coordinator of the FDP. For the her enlightening session, it's a very global trend in innovation and medical technology. Her total expertise on this perspective on the emerging technologies is the very beneficial in our healthcare domain. So thank you all the participants. We conclude our first day session, and then after that we will look forward our day 2 in tomorrow onwards. Um, all the faculty members, I have shared the feedback link on our chat box. Please fill this before today 7:30 p.m. After that, I will close that link, and the attendance is download through the Zoom meeting. So thank you so much. Thank you all.